Okay, bird hunters, we're finally outside today. Fortunately, I picked the hottest day of the week. It's going to be in the high 80s. But we are setting up the ye old Primal 20 gauge and going to, first we're going to fart around with the slugs. And then I'm going to change the choke, and we'll see what we can do with a modified and a full. And as I've shared with you guys earlier, I don't have any bird shot. The smallest I have is number 4 buckshot. So we're going to be wind up basically working, I guess you'd call deer loads, you know, buckshot for deer, but we'll still do our best and see how they pattern. So that's, you know, kind of what's going on. So we'll get the bottles fired up, 4,000 psi. I'm only doing a 2-shot string because you know, I want to keep each shot is most, you know, as powerful as possible. So I'm not going to do 4 shots or anything like that. So we'll see again how these slugs fly, and if any of my experiments work, and take it from there. Yeah, the Primal 20, and it is a actual smoothbore 20 gauge barrel with a rifled choke. I don't know how much the twist is on that. It doesn't look like it's a lot, but you know, I'm not a rifle choke person, so I don't know, and I don't know if other brand rifle chokes have more twist or less twist. That's more shotgun homework one has to do. A couple of earplugs, and we'll let's see how we're doing on paper here. We're at 30 yards. Which I think, I don't know if that's average or not. I don't know what's averaged. Alright, so we'll start off with the old Primal slug. And these you always load the slugs backwards, and these are ambidextrous, so either way you go, that's how you're going. And I just want to look at the gauge up front. Right about there. Cock her back. Just a little low of center. I'm still learning how these, there we go, shot number 2. So shot number 2 is centered but low. So there's shot 1, I'm pretty much centered, and shot 2, same thing, almost centered. So as long as you work with a mil-dot scope, it's not going to be hard to adjust that second shot. But to be honest, I'm sure most people are going to be turkey hunting, not buck hunting, but this gives you a dually option, so that's why we're testing it out. All right, gents, now I have no clue if any of this is going to work, but that's what I'm trying to do with the old hollow point. So this one, I just drove a screw, drilled it out and drove a screw through the wad. Of course, it's not going to be a hollow point at this point, but I'm just trying to, but it's off-centered. So the next idea was, if I put a screw in the base, okay, if I put a screw in the base, then with this wad cup, I can fill that with some adhesive, and that will help hold that on. Whether that's going to work, I got no clue. But again, that's part of the fun side of working with air rifles. You can do stuff that you can't do with a regular firearm or shotgun with gunpowder because it's not as dangerous. Okay, so now this is the original Gorilla Glue, the expanding stuff. And again, I got no clue. I just don't want to fart around with, you know, two-part epoxies. So it says it needs to have a little moisture to make stuff activate. So I'm just wetting that, wetting this. Again, I don't know how well that's going to work. And then put a little bit of that stuff in there, and then stick that in. Again, I don't know how much is going to need to be. The goal is to keep that dead centered on there. Hopefully, and there's two sides to this. This one's, I don't know if one side's better than the other, but again, well, I just thought this was different versus trying to as you can see, I'm off-centered as I don't know how much glue is enough versus too much. Since this stuff swells, I don't know, you know, but versus slicing this, you know, slicing it down and then farting around with it. We won't know until this later, you know. It's like, yeah, is this stuff going to swell up? But I know almost nothing sticks to lead, so that's why I'm trying to figure this out. Oh, I need another one. Hang on. Is that? Oh no, that one's screwed on. And if this doesn't work, then it's not going to be in the video. Again, there's many different ways wads are screwed onto slug bases. I've seen, but you know, of course, I'm trying to keep the hollow point in there, and I figured foaming glue was going to be less to keep the weight down versus filling that with like caulk or two-part epoxy. So that's what I've done so far. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours, and you can see this foam grew up and out, it didn't push the slugs off, but some are a little, this one's, you know, slightly off-centered. So again, it's one of those situations where how do you make it stay dead center? And then one of these popped out. I guess there was too much mold release on the shot cup and it popped out. So possibly, if this would work better if we drove a tiny screw this way and the tiny screw this way, then put a couple of drops of that foam in, and then that way the foam could have two flat heads to grip to, so it wouldn't just pop out of the cup. Again, I have no clue if this is going to work at all. This is, again, part of the farting around. And when people ask me, like, well, why don't you make these and sell them? As there's so much work that goes in there, and it's not 100% guaranteed. You know, I'm not Winchester, I'm not Remington, I'm not charging $5-6 per bullet. It's just not feasible. You know, this is the type of stuff, if you want to do it, you know, I'm just showing you the different ways you can do it. You know, just different possibilities to get a hollow point to work in a smooth bore setup. That rifle choke is not super, you know, super good. So, you know, this is ballistic products. This is where 99.9% of the people get their reloading products for shotguns and whatnot. So this, like I said, these just happen to be something I was playing with, where, you know, if you stuck a ball, if you glued a ball into the end of that, I've seen people sell those. You know, it's a shot cup with a big round ball in the center, and this helps give it a tail. You know, but again, trying to find some type of adhesive to hold that ball in position without drilling, and you know, you squeeze onto these bullets with some pliers, you know, and then you get marks on them and stuff. So again, this is just showing you guys, you know, they like to be creative and go to Hobby Lobby. These are possibilities. Guys that reload shotguns for themselves do a lot of this research and development stuff. And that's kind of where we're at. We're crossing between, you know, a shotgun load into the air gun world. Anyways, the big test is see how they fly when we're outside. So, to the next great adventure. Okay, so now we're going to try my homemade slugs. This is the 440 with this wad cup glued on with that screw in the back. So keep your fingers crossed it doesn't come apart in pieces. Get some air in there. Okay. Fire in the hole. So this is why I like shirts with front pockets, because I can put stuff in the top pockets and not have to always dig around in my pants. Okay. All right. Straight hole, but a little low and to the right. Again, it could be right. If these aren't centered, I know they're going to fly goofy. All right. About 3 inches low, still to the right, but the alignment is there. That's not bad. It's not bad. Well, I'm thoroughly impressed. It's a 440 with the wad glued and screwed on the back. That's not bad. If I just readjust the scope, I'm impressed. Can't believe I did that myself. Okay, so we're pretty spot on with the Primal 20 slugs. Close with my, I'll call it my glue job slugs. Now we're going to try just the plain bullet by itself. And give me one sec. And if you remember in the indoor videos, since my slugs are slightly smaller diameter, I'm making a couple of marks here so they stay kind of wedged a little bit better in the magazine. So I'm just putting a mark on four. I don't know if 2 is fine. Again, these are 622s, and the manual says this is set up for 625, so they're a little loose. Okay, air. Hopefully we'll get something decent. Hope I don't hit the camera. Almost dead center. Center, but about three inches low. Okay, that's with the 440, nothing attached. That's not bad at all. We'll try it again. Woo! Yeah. Let's try this again, but we'll still do 2 shots. Okay. I'll do these 440s again. As you notice, I keep acting like this is the hammer, and because I'm used to this big block, and I keep thinking it's like, okay, where's the push button to first shot. Bullseye. Have to move the second over, and I'm going to use the mill dot to just lift it a fraction. 2 shots, same hole. Woo! Look at that, gentlemen. 2 shots. 1, 2. Now the second shot, I did raise the mill dot up, so I knew that, you know, we'd be close. But that is awesome. The 440. Now this is 30 yards. I think we're gonna have to try this at 50. Oh, 50 yards with the 440. I think we got the scope set, I think. That was high, so I adjusted the scope too much. Go. Right next to the bullseye. So guys, shot 1, shot 2, 50 yards with a small rifle choke with the 440. That's a deer killer right there, buddy. Hog buster, that's pretty good. Pretty good, especially considering who's shooting. So I am pleasantly pleased that I'm doing better without that wad glued on the back than I am with. So again, this is part of experimentation, finding out what works and what doesn't. Very happy, Umarex, very happy. Okay, so we're pretty much done with the slug choke. We've tested everything. These, you know, it's pretty accurate. You just have to use your mill dots from shot 1 to shot 2. So now we're going to take the rifle choke out that it comes with, and the way you do that is you just loosen your barrel band, and depending upon how it is, break it loose. The barrel does move slightly, but again, it's not that big of a deal once you tighten it down. A lot of threads. So, put that in there so we don't lose it. So what we'll do is we're going to start with the medium choke, and I'll try. What we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of assorted balls, and we'll see how they're grouping, and then we'll yank that out and we'll put in the full choke, which they are referring to as long range. Yeah, that's so yeah, this is a 2-pack from Carlson's. It's called the Cremator Ported Choke Tube Set. You can buy them individually. This was a 2-pack, so I got basically modified and full. So modified is 20 to 40 yards and full is beyond 40. But we're at 30, so I think that's a good in between for the both. Get the earplugs out. tilt the camera down slightly. Again, I apologize. I do not have any like bird shot. The smallest I got is number 4 buck. So we'll see what we can do. You know, that's part of the videos and goofing off and having fun and experimenting. So we'll start with the number 4 buckshot. And that is 523 grains. Okay, fire in the hole. That actually looked pretty good. Let's go take a look and see if I've hurt the camera at all. All right, so I had this is number 4 bird shot. I mean, excuse me, number 4 buckshot, and I was aiming for the center here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, give or take 8 in the body, and then some loose ones here. So I think that's good. I don't know. I'm not a bird person. This is all new to me. So this is medium choke, number 4 buckshot. Don't know if it's better or worse. Okay, I don't know how I can get this without my shadow. Oh, great. If I do it this way, everything's upside down. Daggone it. I don't know if I can zoom in. No. Okay, do the best we can here. So, comparing the medium choke to full choke with the same buckshot. Now, granted, this is buckshot, not bird shot. Is looking like the looser choke is giving me a better pattern. I said I'm at 30 yards. It looked like the 457 balls did better. So if I was going to deer hunt, it would definitely be 2. If I was going to use the buckshot, anyways, 2 balls. You know, 2 out of the 3 balls are hitting the body. Maybe if I did a 50 cal with 2 balls, it might, I don't know. It seems like the bigger balls did better in both the chokes. The medium did better. As the buckshot got smaller, it looks like the medium did slightly better. Again, it could be also how I loaded them in. I wasn't using any of that so-called dust or powder or stuff that you use media. But the number 4 buck, which is the closest I got to bird shot, is definitely a tighter pattern than the full choke. That's a lot of work out here in the sun doing this. But, you know, we're having fun, right? Don't whip me. We're having fun, I promise. Okay, Primal 20 guys. The Rifle choke with the Primal slugs, excellent. You just have to, second shot, you need to use your mill dot to get it up there, because you're going to have a drop. Okay, that's just the nature of, you know, the way these guns are. You know, they're bird guns. We're trying to make them into a deer gun or a hog gun. So primals work great. I did much better with my plain slugs, much tighter grouping than when I had these glued, you know, glued and screwed to a wad base. So these are great. You just got to remember, I have to use the knife because the diameter is a fraction under. Just give it, you know, some marks so it stays in there, and well, you can see the groupings. Without using the mill dot, you know, you got it 50 yards, you know, you got a shot 1, shot 2. So they're just dead nuts accurate, which just blows my mind with that little wimpy, you know, choke at the end. But it works. It works. I could definitely deer hunt with this with no problems. 440, of course, is the fastest, so that would be the slug of my choice. Now we go to the buckshot, and again, more or less, this is deer hunting setup versus bird hunting, because I don't have bird shot. The medium choke did better all the way around, especially with the number 4 buckshot. I got a tighter pattern with my homemade turkey pictures, as you can see. And then the other balls got worse and worse. Still, the medium was better than the full. So the number 4 did good. The 457 balls did decent, 2 in the chest. But I'm thinking, I'm not a speed person here per check tension, whatnot, but I'm thinking that the bigger diameter, because these guns are not like a firearm, they're slower. I'm thinking the tighter choke is actually slowing the wad down enough that the bullets or the BBs balls are separating from the wad too early, and the bigger choke, less restriction, the wad's able to keep up and hold that tighter pattern. That's what I'm thinking. Not guaranteed if that's the right frame of mind. If that's the case, then I need to go buy a improved cylinder. That's the next one down. If you remember your regular Remington chokes, it's full, modified, improved cylinder, and then straight cylinder bore, which is the diameter, the straight diameter. I did not try that because I didn't want to get anything into the threads, you know, and you know, it's just so fine. I didn't want to mess that up. So I'll have to go back to Bass Pro and see if I can find or Amazon improved cylinder or cylinder bore, just to see. That would probably give me better, you know, more BBs, more shot in the group. But again, I don't have any bird shot. So this whole everything was a success because I was able to discover what worked and what didn't work with the different chokes. Again, I'm happy as a big game hunter. We definitely got this dialed in for deer and pigs, so that's not a problem. It's just turkey guys, I'm letting you down. I'm not you know, I got to get some bird shot, and I don't want to spend $85 for a 25-pound bag of shot. Maybe I can get a 5-pound bag or something smaller we can play with. Anyways, thanks for watching. Umarex, thank you. We're doing good. We're doing good. I only did 2 shots, so you can do 3 easily, but I just wanted to keep steady with everything. So any questions about, you know, the Umarex products, the Primal 20, contact your Umarex vendor. And if you're looking to do, you know, they sell the Primal, you know, hunting slugs. And if you're looking for the hollow points, you know, contact me, Mr. Hollow Point. But just remember, you got to take the knife and give these a little scratch on the back, because they weren't designed for this. You know, I'm just taking this and making a squiggle, another squiggle, another squiggle, and another squiggle. And that way it stays in the magazine decently, so it's not going to slide or fall out. So, and you can see, you know, at 30 yards, then at 50 yards, I can hold a good group. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. I'll keep you posted if I wind up getting some more chokes and see what we can do. But I know there's some better turkey hunters out there than me. Thanks for watching, gentlemen. You have a blessed day. Okay, so this is the 515 hollow point out of the Primal 20, and you can see that is flattened out fantastically. We'll dig it out here in a minute, but it mushroomed greatly, just to show that this does have deer stopping power. So this is the original 515 20 gauge hollow point, and then this is it pulled out, 8 inches of this clear ballistic gel. That's really good. This Primal really kicks.